he is! Surround him, men!
You're welcome to stay just as long as it takes you to heal up your wounded and get back on your feet.
Wants to trade for your daughter, Yaren. She'll be happy with the Colonel. And look what he offers for her. Whiskey, yes, and guns.
Well, searched you for darn good, didn't they?
Wouldn't you?
Howdy, Outriders. Sam here. Will you just watch as what happens when the Western wanders off the map and gets to drinking with the horror picture. You got cursed dirt, dead gunslingers, and at least one monster that started life as a sheep. 5 movies, ranked the only way that counts, by how weird they get. All right, let's ride. This one starts out with a fella in the Nevada Silver Country who digs up a mutant sheep embryo that some scientist gets to fussing over, and the damn thing grows into an 8-foot toxic woolly monster that goes and wanders into town and blows up a gas station. That's the Godmonster of Indian Flats. This was made with about $135,000, and it deserves more respect than most things that cost about 100 times as much. The fellow behind this one, Fredric Hobbs, now he wasn't really a filmmaker. He was an outside artist who sculpted the monster suit himself, which probably explains why it moves like a parade float that's given up on life. And the picture? It really can't decide if it's a monster movie or an angry little parable about crooked land deals and some small-town racism. So, it decides to do both all at once, badly, with total confidence.
The animal was incinerated. In time, those smoking compounds must have seeped up into areas above the mine shaft on the other side of the mountain, near what is now Eddie's Ranch.
But I'll tell you what, that sheep stuck with me longer than half the slick monsters Hollywood CGIs have thrown at me since. It got almost no theatrical play and sat in the dark for decades. And then this thing got hauled back into the light by a cult crowd who knew a true original when they tripped over it. This one may be number 5, but with a jar of some good moonshine, it'll make your afternoon.
He's bleeding.
$15,000, 6 kids in a station wagon, and a tent. That's the whole production ledger on the movie Scalps. And the director, Fred Olen Ray, he'll tell you that himself, about as proud as a rooster in a hen house. So you want to know what a man can do with the change in his couch cushions and zero shame? This movie is Exhibit A. The story's the old reliable type. A group of archaeology students go digging in a burial ground. They were told, don't touch it, and they wake up a vengeful spirit for a fellow called Black Claw, and he possesses one of them and starts thinning the herd. It's slower than molasses running uphill in January for the first stretch. A lot of standing around the desert listening to drums and stuff, but once the first scalp comes off, this movie remembers what it's called and gets down to business. This was shot on 16mm out in the California scrub, and that grimy film stock, it does the movie a favor it didn't pay for. Ray was going for claustrophobic and lonesome, and by accident or otherwise, he completely got there. Then the distributor, when he got hold of this thing, he pulled scenes out and handed back the cut footage along with the final reel. So, you know what they did? They spliced the throwaway bits back in at random. The version most folks have seen is half Fred Ray's and half stranger who wasn't paying any damn attention. Now, I'm not going to oversell it. The acting's stiff as a new fence post, and the lighting fights you the whole way through this thing. But the scalping effects, it's nasty and more convincing than many horror flicks. And there's a scrappiness here I can't help but tip a Stetson to. This one's completely watchable if you're into the grime and not the polish.
Going in alone. Send everything you got, or thousands will die. Stop.
All right, we're going to talk about something completely different here. This is a movie that had everything the other four didn't. Money, movie stars, a studio behind it, and a comic book hero with an actual fan base. And this managed to be the saddest picture of the whole list anyways. Jonah Hex was made for like $47 million. It made about $11 million back. That ain't a flop, partner. That's a crater you could run a cattle in. Josh Brolin's the scarred bounty hunter who can talk to the dead. And John Malkovich, he's the villain. Hell, this thing's got Megan Fox in it. Michael Fassbender, he even shows up. Now that's a cast you can build something real with.
How you doing there? What's happening to me? Afraid you're dead, friend.
Yeah, what did they do? They shot this thing, panicked, brought in a second director to reshoot great chunks of it, and chopped it to ribbons in the edited floor. And then they go and release 81 minutes of movie, counting the credits in that. Yeah, just 81 minutes. They were so eager to be done with this, they practically left skid marks.
You don't mean to kill me. I haven't made up my mind. Let's see how this little visit goes.
You know, here's the part I love. In the way you love watching a slow-motion fender bender. Brolin, he has spent 15 years since publicly torching this thing. He has called this, and I'm going to go word for word quoting him, I ain't ever going to stop shitting on Jonah Hex because this was a shitty fucking movie.
You know you look like a right freak, don't you? Tell me, what's it like to go through life with a face like that?
Let me show you.
Well, when your own leading man won't quit kicking the corpse a decade later, you've probably made a special kind of picture. This is what happens when a Western gets made by a committee instead of by a person, and it's exactly why the cheap stuff further down this list beats it like a rented mule. There's nobody home in Jonah Hex. The Godmonster, it had more soul, and the Godmonster was a sock puppet the size of a Buick.
You're in our land.
Man, we're hungry as all get out, tired as mules, and, well, we got an injured man with us. Heck, we're harmless.
We're going to look at this cast, and you tell me you don't get a chill when you see who's in it. Keith Carradine, Scott Glenn, the man, Gary Busey, and a young Dan Haggerty. This is Hex from 1973, and every one of those folks was a nobody when the cameras were rolling for this thing. And you're watching a room full of future somebodies before anyone knew it. That alone makes it worth the time. The setup's a beauty in this one. It's 1919 and the war is just over. And this pack of motorcycle vets go putting around the Nebraska plains and hole up at a farm run by two native sisters. One of them bikers does something he shouldn't have done to that younger sister, and the elder lays a curse on the whole crew. And then they just start dying off, one strange death at a time, like when Busey gets done in by an owl. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about it because you probably need to see this. I'd hate to ruin it for you.
Got something nice for Birdie. Trick or treat, Al.
This is a biker movie, and a Western, and a folk horror picture with a little bit of hangout flick all at once. And really, that shouldn't hold together, but there's a sleepy, sun-faded spell on this thing that sticks to your ribs. Carradine, this is his first time on a movie screen right there. And the man who made this, Leo Garin, near as I can tell, he's never directed another feature in his life, which It's a crying shame because he had an eye for this.
There's bullshit and there's horseshit. And horseshit's not bad because it grows flowers.
China.
But bullshit isn't worth much.
China?
And this is prime bullshit.
China?
Well, isn't it? He never...
20th Century Fox, they got their mitts on the cut and spent the better part of a year just hacking the humor clean out of it, trying to force it into a straight, spooky occult film, because that's what they were selling. Test audiences hated the Frankenstein version, and only then did they let Garren back in to fix his own movie. The studio tried to wring the strange right out of it and couldn't quite manage. That's a movie with a will of its own.
You came in last night on a stagecoach, right?
Sonny, this is no concern of yours.
I want to know how she can be standing here alive and breathing when I saw her dead in Sweetwater.
Maybe you were thinking of someone else.
No. She died in my arms.
All right, here's my number one. Here's a pick some of you might even fight me on because the title, it gives away the twist. But I'm telling you what, Purgatory is the best thing on this list today, and it ain't especially close. Eric Roberts, he leads a gang of outlaws who rob a bank and then ride into this dust storm, and they come out the other side into a quiet little town called Refuge. And in this place, nobody carries a gun, nobody swears, and the sheriff's a soft-spoken fella played by Sam Shepard. This takes the outlaws a while to cotton to, and the audience, while they already suspect they understand what this movie's about from the title. Refuge is a way station for dead gunfighters.
It's funny. It don't hurt none. How come I'm not dead?
Welcome to Refuge, son.
That sheriff, that's Wild Bill Hickok. And the town doctor, played by Randy Quaid, is no other than Doc Holliday. The deputy, Billy the Kid. They're all here, working off their sins, sworn to peace, one act of violence away from dropping straight through the floor to someplace a lot warmer than Nevada.
Why, I see you got a saloon.
Yep, but you can't go in there.
One step through those doors and it's all over.
Seems like a lot of damn rules.
Yep, no cursing either.
And Sam Shepard, Lord Almighty Sam Shepard. You know, there's this moment where that meek lawman has to decide whether to strap the guns back on and be Wild Bill again, knowing full well it might cost him his eternal soul. And Shepard, he plays the whole war of it across a face that barely moves. This was a TNT television movie, shot on a small budget, made for the small screen, and dumped on a Sunday night and mostly forgotten. And this thing has more reverence for the Western, for the dime novel myth of the gunfighter, what those men meant to boys who idolized them, in pictures with 100 times the budget. The whole thing's told through a green kid who grew up worshiping these legends from cheap paperbacks. And through his eyes, it asks the only question that matters out here. When a violent man's dealt his last hand, is there any road left to travel? So that there is 5 weird Western movies, partners. And if you're still with me, I'll thank you for sticking around. And if this rode right with you, you let me know in the comments or toss me a like. All that helps with making more of these films come out down the road. And until next time, lock and load, partners, and keep the reels a-rolling.